Worst. Motherfucker never loved her. Fucker never loved her. You ain't know now, you know now. Still at the scrub J's with a toothbrush.
What it is, another edition of the Unstable Podcast, and wow.
Wait a minute, we thought you quit.
Y'all motherfuckers thought I quit, didn't you?
Hey, that's what the rumor was.
That's what I heard. Damn. I looked at the podcast last week and I heard I quit.
I'm not even gonna joke. A podcast company called me and said, "What's going on? Mike quit?" I was like, "No, he did not quit."
Nah.
But we did have a good show without him.
Really good show. Very entertaining. It was very entertaining, and I watched it. I actually watched your live feed.
Oh, did you?
Saw the first 20 minutes.
How'd you feel not like being here and just watching?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was
Be honest,
really
you
interesting.
missed it, didn't you?
I did. I mean, I love you guys. I mean, I love working with you guys. I love being here on this show. Doing it is one of the highlights of my week. So welcome to another edition of the Unstable Podcast.
Welcome back.
I am Mike Hill with my man Steve Wilson down
What's
there.
up, everybody? We back. We back in the house.
The very beautiful, the very talented, the gorgeous Claudia Jordan.
I get all that.
What's
And
up, y'all?
my main man, my dude, my homie, my
ace.
friend, my ace for life, baby. Nothing will ever tear us apart. GT got Tori in the house.
The black sheep of the podcast.
Look, he ain't been calling nobody no
I
more.
know.
He's vibes different. We gotta fix this guy.
Dude had
Seriously.
a
good,
birthday.
man.
I miss my
good,
6 a.m.
man.
calls now. Well, I didn't at first, but now I do.
We used to get like 4 phone calls a week from guys a day talking about the podcast. We don't get it's dry now.
Is it?
It's dry. Nobody calls. A guy doesn't
Yeah.
call.
I called him on his birthday. I invited him out. He's like, nah.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy
man.
birthday,
Happy
y'all. Happy
belated
birthday, GT.
We got to tell you
Appreciate
happy
it.
birthday now because you didn't call our ass. Like, when we reached out to you and like, hey, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday? No, man, nothing. I'm going to reflect. I'm going to stay positive. And
I wouldn't
I'm
smoke
just,
a cigar.
I'm just going to chill. I'm not
that
going
was some-
to
had
be
some
by
good
myself.
sushi.
And
Yeah.
then we see on Instagram, he's with everybody except us.
They dragged me out. They forced me out.
No,
So I
man.
went out.
No,
He was
man.
out with Stoney Jackson and
Stoney Jackson.
Quentin Tarantino. You don't know us no more at all.
I know
That
he was with everybody except us, man.
Well,
was
I'm
like
glad.
a Chubb Rock. I'm like, you don't hang with us no more.
You
I'm
know,
glad everybody's back.
He's putting himself in a very positive light, man. Hey, you know what? Elephant in the room. Let me go ahead and say I called Guy. I apologize to him because I'm not going. And anybody that saw the podcast, you know what happened a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not really going to rehash everything that went on. But Guy and I had a disagreement, and it led to something that got physical. And I will say from the bottom of my heart that even though I don't feel like I was wrong, my reaction was wrong. I overreacted. And for that, I want to fully and sincerely and genuinely apologize to you because I never meant for it to get that far, for it to be that way. And the only thing I wanted you to understand is that when you have a child and you see your child is hurting, you go into a different zone. So like you said on the podcast last week, that Mike Hill that you saw a couple of weeks ago, that's not the Mike Hill that you know because you've never seen that Mike Hill before. But when you see as a father or as a mother, or whoever the parent is, when you see that your child is hurting in that way, that's when you kind of click over and you become emotional and you change.
I don't like this side of you now.
No.
I'm trying to sell this show to Mona Scott and y'all apologize. What the hell was going on? I'm going to need somebody to get slapped. What the hell going on?
See, they ruined our plan.
Right. What the hell?
Here's the thing, because the thing about it is I'm unfiltered and I keep it 100. One of the things that Mike said to me before he moved to LA, when he was with the other sports company, he said the reason why I fuck with you is because you keep it 100. A lot of fake ass niggas in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Guy, you keep it 100. You real. So I keep it real. Now my real sometimes is a little bit too real and maybe go left, but that's who I am. And I built my career on taking risks and doing things like that. And so, that was a bad judgment on my call, but I took a risk. And who's to say? I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm always keep it 100. And this show, we don't pre-rehearse fights or arguments.
No.
And
What
it
you
wasn't
see-
staged. Somebody
No.
asked me if it was staged.
It wasn't
It wasn't
staged.
staged at all. No,
You
not
would
at all.
never do that.
No.
That's why I was calling Mona Scott. I'm like, we got a hit right here. This is
So
good.
I keep it 100, and I got to be honest. That may not be the last time that I piss somebody off, and again, I may say something. Steve
Well, it
may
won't
get
be the
mad.
last time. We know
It won't
that.
be-
No,
It
we
won't
know
be the
that.
last time.
Definitely
I'm
won't be
not
the
going
last
to
time.
change. I'm gonna keep being me. So I'm gonna keep being that 100 real dude. And if it goes left, then I have to deal with the
But
consequences
GZ,
later.
here's what you have to understand is like we understand who you are. we had a conversation about, well, if I'm a certain way, then why y'all fuck with me? You know,
Yeah.
we understand that there is a part of you that every now and then, we probably couldn't tolerate as much or whatever. We don't want to be around. But you got so many great qualities that make us want to hang around you and see you in that way. Just like you can look at me, Claudia, Steve, Jerron, you can look at all of us and find something that you don't like about us, that you dislike. But hopefully there are enough qualities or more qualities that you like about us and say, you know what? I will mess with these guys. Well, you see, I will hang around these
Trying
guys.
to find them qualities.
Well, I will hang around these guys because they're good. It far outweighs the bad. So once again, man, sincerely to everybody out there that saw that is not me. I didn't represent myself properly. And I want to tell God because I want people to know. And I hate that people came at God like that because he's not necessarily a really bad guy.
Mona Scott, get at me.
But so that's the last I'll say about it. Peace and positivity from here on out.
That's all we have from here on out.
You know what? But yeah, be yourself, and that's what I love about you,
Be
man.
myself.
Is that
I'm
you
not
are
changing.
yourself.
For those of you who think I'm changing, I'm not. That wasn't Mike that you saw. That wasn't, but that was definitely me.
That was a father.
That was definitely me.
that was the father in Mike you saw. So anybody talk about my kids, the shirt will come off again.
But see, I never say anything about your kids.
I get it. I understand that, but I'm saying
about your kids.
But it's like it's part of it. So I understand where you're
I
coming
got
from.
you. I got you.
Keep talking.
Right. Keep on opening.
Mona Scott.
Keep opening that scab.
Talk about this nigga
Keep not accepting the apology. Just keep on digging.
I learned that on the Shaq
Mike.
roast when I talked about Jason Kidd's son's head. I learned
So,
about
Mike,
not
where are
talking
your
about kids.
daughters now, Mike?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, when you was gone, I think he was saying no. Let me see.
No, man. No. So that's the last I'll say about it. And I'm gonna put it in the past, and I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. But I know you
we've all
addressed it
moved
last
on.
week, so I wanted to address it this week.
Absolutely.
And now
As
we
you
can
should.
just go ahead and move past this and have a great podcast and enjoy our lives.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
You say you're unfiltered, you're real, you're not gonna change. I think we're all real. Like I don't think there's any fakeness
Nope.
here,
Right.
and like you can still be. We can all be
Tactful.
unfiltered. Exactly. We can
Tactful.
all be. We know how to
Could've
talk.
been a little bit more
we know how to
tactful,
talk to
maybe.
each other.
Right.
We do, and we know what's fucked up. We know what's crossing the line. We know what's doing too much. And y'all both did too much in some regards in that argument.
Well,
and I'm
since
glad
we-
y'all both said you're sorry.
We know
Steve.
you are
It's
unfiltered.
all
I mean,
working.
you are unfiltered, but you know.
Man is coming to.
Shut the fuck up, man.
So-
You know how to
cursing
filter
at me.
yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
You do. So you know what's appropriate in appropriate situations. That's the
Absolutely.
only thing we say.
But
Yeah.
honestly, in that situation, I didn't think that was unappropriate.
Because of what
after the
you
fact.
saw on Christmas
Exactly.
and because of all
now that I know, now I have a responsibility. Now I know, okay, that's the area not to go into.
all right, so
Or-
Since we
you gonna call us now?
No, but since we handed out olive branches,
okay.
we got somebody else on the show who wants to hand out an olive branch. Am I right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
wait, hold on.
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Yes. I actually, somebody called me and said that.
You can tell them who you
somebody
call
or
us.
several.
Mike called me and said, "Oh, I want you to relax." And DL was on the Breakfast Club and he was crapping on you, and I was like, "Dude, I've moved on. I swear to God, I have let it go."
Well, back it up,
Listen,
because I don't want you.
listen.
First of all, everybody, because before my cousin looks at this and says that I'm snitching on him for doing that, because
Breaking
Dio's my
news.
cousin.
Well, you kinda did snitch.
The way you said it,
Breaking
the way
news.
you said it. See, once again, look at this.
Yes, Mona Scott is gonna call
see,
us.
guy, you sitting next to him too much,
But
man,
set
because
up,
you started.
set up why what happened.
Here's
Set up what happened.
the
Okay,
whole
go
thing.
ahead.
Of course, everybody knows that Steve used to work with D.L. Hughley, my cousin, on his radio show.
And he wasn't the first person to call me, by the way.
Okay,
he was
and-
like the 100th.
And DL has some issues with Steve, and Steve has some issues with DL, and Steve quit about 7 months ago. Quit the show unexpectedly. Just hey, on the air, I quit. I'm out. I'm not coming back tomorrow. Bam. And then afterwards, there were some things that were said about Steve. Steve said some things about DL, and one of the things that DL didn't like because he called me and said that when you said on this show on the podcast you called him a bitch ass nigga. And he said, you know what?
That was fucked up.
We actually invited him on the show because, he said he'd do anything for me. He would come on the show. He said, but he couldn't come on because of what you had said. And, you emasculated him and you took something away from him. He said he couldn't sit here and watch you or listen to you say something like that.
That's fair, because I was going to do it again. That's fair.
And I understand that. I understand
Look at him
that.
snapping. Look at him snapping.
That's fair.
But,
Look at the snap.
but because of everything
No,
that's
we're
been
being honest here.
everything that's been going on, and we've been talking, Steve and I have been talking, and Dia, so I'm kind of caught in the middle because Dia's my cousin, that's my family, I love him. Steve's my boy, I love him, kind of caught in the middle.
Who do you
So-
love more?
Same here, because DL was one of my mentors.
Yeah.
And helped raise me in this game.
I mean,
and Steve's my boy, so I'm caught in the middle as well.
Blood is blood, but I really love Steve. I mean, there's love and there's like. Now, I love both my daughters. One of them I like more than the other sometimes.
Oh, which one?
I ain't gonna say it on air. I don't want to say it on there.
I ain't saying shit.
You shouldn't. I can get away with more.
So they've been kind of going back and forth, and I've been like, you know what, Steve, we had an episode about a month ago about putting the past behind and just letting it go and moving on. When Corey Holcomb was on the show, and we talked about that, and I've been kind of talking to Steve, man, you know what? In order to receive the blessings that God is going to put into your life in the future, you need to let that past go and let that bitterness.
Preaching. I ain't gonna lie, he been
heart.
preaching. And I told you, I said, I promise you, at some point in time, I'm gonna call him, but it has to be on my terms. So when you called me and told me, I said, I know, dude, you about the 100th person to call me.
Rewind a little bit, because we were talking about you calling him before we actually asked him to come on the show. Facts. Because you said you were going to reach out to him and call him and tell him, hey man, I'm letting that go. I'm not going to say anything negative about you anymore.
And I did it.
And I'm moving on. That's what you said.
I did it the day that I got the phone call that he had did it on his radio show and on the Breakfast Club.
But we talked about you doing it for a long time. And I even told DL, I said, Steve is going to reach out to you. Now, the next day, after DL called me, that's when the stuff came out on the Breakfast Club.
He did it anyway.
I'm like, no, he had already taped it.
Right.
See, the irony in the whole situation is I talked to DL the same day he taped that episode of the Breakfast Club, right? So he had already done it, he already done it. And so the next day, that's when it comes out, and that's when I find out about it. And so to calm Steve down, I'm like, hey, man, I know this is going to come out.
But he thought I was going to be mad. I really wasn't.
I thought you was going to be. And I said, hey, man, DL went on the Breakfast. I just want you to see this or whatever. He saw it, and it was, he
basically all he said was the truth and exactly what I was going to do. If he would have came
Do we have a clip
here,
that we can play?
Oh, I'm not sure. You have a clip? Play
No,
a clip.
this is just Steve quitting.
Oh. This is so y'all assholes.
Oh.
He just keeps talking.
And I love y'all.
Elvis left the motherfucking building.
And you didn't really love them, but you just you
No,
told
here's
me.
the thing: you got to be political. At that time, I was fuming, so I said the right thing.
You said the right thing,
right? So I called DL and I told him, I said, "Listen, I want to let all this go. I heard on the radio because the first thing he did is he answered the phone like, "What's up? It's the bitch ass nigga." I said, "Listen, I apologize for saying that. I meant it at the time." But I apologize. I was out of pocket. I said, you know what you did, and I know what you did. We ain't got to speak on it, but I want to move forward. I have to release you from that so I can have my blessings. And he was like, yeah. I said, no, because I heard what happened. He's like, yeah, I kind of shit on you today. I said, I heard, but we're going to just let it go. I said, I'm moving forward. We ain't got to do this. I said, you do you. I'm going to do me. I'm never going to speak negative about you, and you never speak negative about me. And he's about to say something. I said, no, we ain't got to fake, brother. Just cool. I want you to have a good day. And I hung up.
Wow, you had some good weed that day, huh? California chronic.
I'm gonna tell you something. Also, real.
Did
That brother right there been preaching. He been calming me down and everything. And I'm saying, I gotta release all this stuff. When I'm telling you, everything is like we talking to a podcast company that want to do something with us. We got this.
Blessings
we got
are
other
happening.
Things coming on in my life that I should just be really.
Wow, we
releasing.
really made it, huh?
Well, I ain't gonna say we ain't
you might be able to see, but you planted the seeds, and now you're watering, you're nurturing those seeds.
There's
and
a lot of good things happening. So why
you.
should I be holding on to?
It's amazing.
And even the bad things that happen, I'm telling you, man, it's sometimes you need to go. No, you need to go through some things, and I think that was needed. What I went through with God a couple of weeks ago, because it put me in a different perspective. Now, I hate, and it was unfortunate that it happened, but sometimes you need that in order to recalibrate and refocus. And because of that, I was able to look at Steve and help him in this situation a little bit more, because I remember that night, I was like, he's like, man, remember what you told me?
Yeah, he gonna say, do as I say, not as I do. I said, what type of shit is that? To tell somebody.
So we're all growing and
everybody's
progressing and expanding and growing up.
No. Did you grow? Because I heard you had
Claudius,
beef.
there's a lot of beef going on.
I heard
right
Claudia
now.
almost got fingered last
No.
night at the
I
end
need
of
a 20
the
second time out. 20. Wait.
I did not get fingered.
Wait. Get finger pop. I heard
No,
you.
first of all, the bitch only has 8 fingers.
That's finger.
So
Oh my Jesus!
Hey,
8.
Wait. You got to bring that back.
is
You can't just gloss
No,
over
because
that.
now they're gonna. She lost him as a kid in a fire. Whatever.
Oh.
So,
I didn't know that.
but she's not a kid now. She's
Right,
a full-on
right.
bitch now. So,
Them
anyways,
nubs are strong.
Do we know her?
no one knows her. So look, I'm at the Image Awards last night. Amazing time.
Yes.
Positive black
Mind
people.
you, it's an Image Awards. Go ahead.
Image Awards.
The NAACP TV1 Image Awards with
I just
positivity.
got done. I took a picture with Maxine Waters.
Man,
I mean, just
Maxine.
everyone. Just it was beautiful. Halle Berry was on the carpet looking amazing.
She had no drawers on.
She didn't.
Hallie never wears drawers, but why should she?
She looked good. Anyways, it was a great time. It was a really positive night. Like there was a lot of love in the room. I will say it was an amazing event. It really was. So I'm in a great place. I reconnected with one of my friends that we hadn't talked in like 2 years. We saw each other. We like sat down. We made a toast. We had this like great like positive like black girl magic moment.
The lady that's on the Real Housewives.
My friend Demetria. We hadn't
McKinney,
talked in a while.
Yeah, she's talented.
Very talented.
Yeah.
She can sing. She
McKinney.
can act. She's all that. But we had a friend that was between us that was pulling some puppet strings between us too. And we found out about it and we figured it out. So we were able. That's our first time seeing each other since we found out what was keeping us apart. And so it was just a great night. Like everything was just great. So I'm over here talking to one of the guys from the New Edition story, and we're like just joking around about things. And this lady that I haven't spoken to in a while is like rose up like diamond and silk, right, with the head roll. It was like this, waiting.
What?
We need to talk. I'm like, we don't need to talk. We're good. I'm actually in a conversation right now. And she was like, I'll wait. Sipping her drink. I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is the Image Awards. I'm happy. I'm in a good place. I'm not arguing with anybody.
We all black people.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great night. We don't need anyone coming at me with that kind of tone. It's not going to be something good.
Right.
So, anyways, I'm like, when I finish speaking to who I'm talking to, she rolls up, on me, and she's just like, so you ain't got to, she just starts fussing about something. I'm not even actually giving her any attention. The old me would have, but I was like, look, we're not doing this. I just said, we are not doing this. You can say what you want.
Excuse me. So you've known this lady for a while? What was
Okay,
this?
the backstory is this is
Is
someone before I went on Atlanta Housewives.
Okay.
Okay, we all knew each other. She's, does some little businesses up here and there. She like buys makeup, will slap a label on it, and then like sell it.
Okay.
Like, repackage it, whatever. I mean, put a label on it.
Like what Trump does with his.
Bang,
Kinda.
yeah, with the
So,
university.
So there
in
was
the
some
States.
talks about us working together and like doing my line for me. But like at the time, like we're talking on Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Right.
Like, and I had like a lot of stuff going on. I was like on a radio show, working. I was doing a lot. So I was like, okay, yeah, she's my friend. All right, yeah, I can probably do the makeup thing with you, maybe. So we're going back and forth and kind of talking about some of the terms. And I was like, all right, half-ass listening, half-ass doing like 20 other things. She said, I'm gonna send you a contract. She never, she took a while to send the contract. When she did, I took a while to get to it, honestly. I was busy and it really wasn't a priority. In the meantime, someone was in my ear about she's probably not a good person to do business with. And it was supposed to be like an 80-20 split with me. Me getting 20 for my life.
Wait.
Okay. Okay.
Is she fronting the money?
Well, I guess, but
Okay.
but there was like, but my thing is this, I started to like not, a lot of stuff started coming in for me, and I felt like I always like say yes to all my friends, yeah, to my detriment, and I had to, now that I had to start at some point in my life, I got to start doing better business. So I said, listen, why don't you, I need you to talk to this woman who's gonna be like handling my brand stuff for me, because I wasn't able to get back to this woman in a timely manner, and that's my bad. So I'm like, let me put you with someone that can like take care of that for you, so you're not waiting.
Exactly.
And she's like, well, I need the contract signed so I could do the photo shoot and we could do the website and this, that, the other. So we had a lot more to go, but like none of that stuff got done. I never signed off on anything. I never picked any colors. I never saw any product.
Right.
She gonna turn around. I never signed the contract, and she
No
got
letter of intent, nothing.
Nothing. She took it personally that I said talk to my people, like I was big timing her, and got really, really angry about that. Okay, now I'm the bitch that changed. I'm an asshole. I'm a jerk. I'm all these things, right? So I never signed the contract. She comes out with, well, she spent $5,000 of her own money to buy the products with my name on it. Never ever showed me any products with my name on it. Never showed me any orders. Never like got me my okay on the packaging. Like there was so many more things that needed to be done.
Show me the order.
So she never showed me the
Of
order.
course,
Okay,
right? Of
right.
course.
But what she does, but here's the tricky part. What she does anyways is orders makeup like in large
Anyway,
amounts.
so she could have slapped anybody's name.
Right.
So you didn't order something that had my name on it.
Specifically for
so
you.
I'm sure she'd been sold that 10 times over by now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
So yeah, so she just was like out there talking trash about me on radio shows, saying all kind of like slanderous things about me that had nothing to do with business. Like she was saying awful things like I'm a whore, I have STDs, I had 10 abortions, like really nasty stuff about me.
Okay.
This is a woman who claims to be a woman of Christ. Okay, and who posts all those Bible quotes all the time, but yet would be so vicious. And I'm thinking, if we were friends and business went bad, you have the right to talk about what the thing that went bad. But to just go and just do all this other stuff is just childish. So that's the backstory on this woman.
Right.
So 3 years have gone by.
And you haven't seen her.
No, I was in Atlanta, you know.
Okay.
So since I moved back to LA, there was a episode of Empire that came on. I guess there was a Claudia character. So she posts out of nowhere, right? I told you this, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, there's a trifling or raggedy, a sneaky hoe on Empire whose name is Claudia, and just so happens I know the only sneaky hoe I know, only Claudia I know is a sneaky hoe or raggedy hoe, whatever she said. So I was like, really?
She reaching.
So then I posted something on my page like, really? And it just went back and forth. It got ugly. So I deleted all my shit. It got on blogs. It got ugly for both of us. Again, a woman of God who really talks about all this stuff all the time, and it's supposed to be a businesswoman. So it was all this nonsense, and I'm gonna fuck you up, and all this stupid shit. It was crazy. She was like making threats.
At the Image Award?
No, like before this.
Before that.
Yeah.
So I recorded a conversation like we were having, because I want to show my friends like this motherfucker is tripping.
Right.
You got the recording conversation we can play right now?
Well,
Wanna play that
I
right
was
now?
trying to edit it on my Instagram to do a 1 minute clip because you gotta make a clip short to send your friends, right?
Yeah.
And it accidentally posted on Instagram for just like, but only for like a couple of minutes, and I caught it. But a blog already picked it up. Like they snatched that shit. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
First of all, I looked
Oh, they
crazy.
quick.
First of all, I looked really bad in the footage. Like I would never purposely put that out there, but I was trying to like use Instagram as my editing because I'm not really hip on the iMovie shit until recently. All right, long story short, this is getting really long. So it's been maybe 6 months since all this happened. Like I thought it blew over. So I'm at the Image Awards. So this is the girl that comes up to me while I'm talking to someone at the Image Awards and wants to hash it out at the Image Awards.
Right.
I'm not doing this with you.
In public.
In public. So when I'm like, no, like back up off me. Like we're not doing this. I said, well, I'm not doing this. I'm not giving you what you want. I'm not doing this argument with you. So I just sat down and I just was like, I was ignoring her. And she just was cussing at me.
She didn't give you the hand like this?
Well.
See, you do right by me. We got a lot of beef coming up.
that's
we
what
got
I'm saying.
more
She
beef
only-
coming
she-
on
So-
later, right?
She had 8 fingers.
So
though.
so Annie gets up and says and tries to be the peacemaker.
Your best friend,
yeah.
Annie.
She goes, you
Little ass Annie.
Annie 115
Man.
pounds. Annie says, listen, she tells the girl, she goes, you have to let this go. This cannot be what gets you up in the morning and you go to sleep with at night. This is unhealthy. Like you actually look crazy right now. And then she said the girl looked up at her like that, like, you know, and she was like, no, but you, and she was like, look how angry you are about this. Like, let it go. And I told him, I said, listen, I changed my mind about doing business with you. We never had a contract. I have the right to change my mind. Look how you're behaving. I would never want to be in business with someone like you.
Right.
And then she tells me she's got $1 million business. I'm like, so you don't need me. So basically she made a big scene. Annie jumped up, got between, like not between us, because I was already sitting down. Like I was looking at my Instagram likes, because they was on 1,000 last night.
Did she take her shirt off?
Who? Who the fuck?
You get it?
No, he's referencing what happened 2 weeks ago in the parking lot.
I said Annie little ass, and the other girl's supposed to be a big girl.
So no, she's not supposed to be. She is. And so Annie was like telling her that she just looks crazy and to calm down. And like other people came over. It just was like ridiculous. It was like a whole crew that I used to hang with. And it just was like, they go on a little they have a little radio show too on the internet. And then they told the story totally exaggerated. They made it seem like we was about to fight and that everybody was watching. And it was like a big embarrassment. No one could hear it except the people that were like right there. It was really a quick thing.
Oh, okay.
And it was a whole bunch of talk. Like she was talking about beating, like on the radio, they were talking about like she want to beat me up. And so it was like, there was a threat now.
Wow. So
There's a perceived
what
threat.
is there anything that happened afterwards? Is it still ongoing, or when you left, she left?
That's a
and there-
terroristic threat.
Like it is actually, yeah. So I'm filing a police restraining order against her.
Well, good for you.
Wow, hell yeah.
Good for you.
Because they was talking about beating me up, and then there was talk about it on the radio that she was circling around me like they said, like a shark. And I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Like,
Yeah, cover your ass. 'cause
first of
somebody
all,
that's psycho.
I'm 44. I'm the youngest of all these people. Okay, these are like 50-something-year-old bitches.
Well, you know, the older you get, the more bitter you get.
Right, yeah, we know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So watch your ass.
Yeah, I'm the youngest. So it just was stupid. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, we're not fighting. I'm not on a reality show.
Well, shout out to you for restraining yourself despite all that negativity and all that hate. Shout out to your friend Annie for stepping up and being.
Yeah, like how see how like says that
so
name.
sweet, always help you.
No, it's just funny the subtle
Yeah.
like jabs, like your friend Annie, and then you and their little podcast.
Well, they don't use
But
high
your
definition.
friend Annie is funny to me.
They have like a slow Wi-Fi situation going on.
Who's old? Because I said
Yeah,
your
you
friend.
said it twice.
It is
Like,
it's her best friend.
Yeah, okay.
It's
You know,
Okay.
I will say though, like being in that situation, like I have come a long way from my temper. I used to have a really bad temper, and just having
Used to?
I don't really have a temper though.
No.
I've never known you to have a temper. I've been knowing you over 22 years.
I mean,
I've never
like,
known you to have a temper. I'll be honest with you. I'd tell you if you did.
It's before I even moved to LA, like when
Okay,
I had a temper.
okay, yeah.
Like I was able to, like she was saying all this stuff, and then they went on the radio, and I still didn't get mad. I called one of the people, and I had a conversation like, look, dude, this has got to stop. Like it doesn't help any of us. We are in our 40s, and y'all are in your 50s.
right.
Like
right.
this is
But you're never
dumb.
too old to fight. I'm
Time to
sorry.
be-
I think you
Yes,
are.
you are.
There's no
Yeah.
age limit to fight.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you never
There's
too
no age
old to
limit whooping
defend
ass.
yourself,
Exactly.
but
to
Defend
defend yourself.
yourself,
Yeah,
but-
I'm
I disagree with
yeah,
that. I
all that
disagree with
stuff.
that.
all
Never
that
too old to
stuff.
fight.
I'm just gonna say,
35, yeah.
anyone that's coming at me to fight, you're not gonna get that out of me. If you hit me, then of course, but like
Yeah,
you're gonna
defend
get
yourself, but
yeah, I will
just
fuck you
fighting.
up. But I'm never gonna like start with someone. I'm never gonna step like that's not happening. I'm not on a reality show. I have no interest in throwing drinks in faces. Like when you do stuff like that, you don't know how close you may have been to some great blessing, and then they heard about this one little
Right,
stupid thing,
right.
and then you don't get the contract. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm
you
not
go.
interested.
There you
so
go.
if you have an issue with me, like whatever, just get your lawyers and send the paperwork.
All right.
Like,
all
it's
right.
dumb.
I can't do shit anymore. I'm on the Tom Jones show now, so I can't do shit.
Oh, yeah, you
I
definitely
have
can't.
a moral,
Beautiful thing.
I have a
Yes.
moral clause in my contract.
When that,
so-
Damn.
you gonna love it when that cruise come up.
You're gonna love it when that
cruise
fight
is
video
fun.
come out. Leak that fight video.
I have that.
Well, that was before I started. So
Right. That don't count now.
every Monday, Wednesday, Tom Jordan Morning Show. Tune in. and
Okay.
wherever you are.
What kind of
Funny
stuff?
How
shit.
did Joe feel about that?
Joe was cool. Joe gave me his blessing and was like, yeah, I know him and Tom had a little bit of beef, but Joe was like, man, get that money.
That's
I saw
awesome,
them
man.
make
You
a
know?
promo about you, and they were kind of shady to your brother.
Yeah, it said yeah, they did say the funny Tory.
And they said it like, yeah, I saw
Wow.
that.
yeah, and I put the other Tory, the other funny Tory in my
Yeah,
God wrote it for him. Is that what you did? You
No,
write it
I
for
didn't
him?
write that.
So what kind of stuff can you not? Are you?
Use bold letters.
What kind of stuff can you not do with this moral clause? Like what kind of stuff
And
is
it's
it?
a contract. I just can't get in. They don't say what I can't do, but I mean, come on. I'm smart enough to know what I can't do.
Get caught with a prostitute.
Wait a minute,
I've
that
never
was
had
frowned
one.
upon?
Well, that'll be something that you can talk about on the radio. That'll be fun.
I work
mean,
with
you're a
them.
comedian. You
Fight.
can do that.
I'm not going to like.
Fight your boy in the parking lot.
Man, that's bad.
Well, you know that happened before I started.
Choke a bitch out.
I
you
never. I
probably
put my
wanna-
hands on women.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
You might want to do
All
that.
right. I'm just wondering
All
what kind
right.
of stuff is in there.
All right. All right. We still got a lot to do here on this Unstable podcast. We'll talk about the latest, the shit hole. What is that? What is
Yeah.
it? Shit house or shit hole? What did he say?
Oh.
Shithole
We're
countries.
gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk. And Cory Booker's response. Oh man, my Clippers. They got into a little bit of an altercation with the
man.
Rockets. We'll get into
Yeah.
that.
It's been a rough week.
We'll talk about that coming up on the Unstable podcast. We are family. Come on, guy, give me a hug, baby. Come give me a hug. You give me a hug?
Y'all should hug.
Okay.
Y'all should
Found it
All
out. We
all
hugged.
right.
We hugged that day.
put it
Didn't
on
we?
camera though. For the
Go to commercial, goddammit. We don't
They
need to
gonna
see
hug, they
this bullshit.
gonna hug.
Mona Scott.
Hug
Turn
him.
the funny
Go to
hug.
commercial.
Hug
Go to
him.
commercial. Don't let Mona
Go to
Scott see this
commercial.
Oh, he
bullshit.
kissed him. He kissed him.
Don't let Mona
commercial.
Scott see this bullshit. Turn. Get it off.
All right, back on the Unstable podcast.
Yeah.
This is not that chick that meet me outside, catch me outside.
Really?
She's a rapper.
Say what you want. It's kind of hot.
That is kind of hot though.
AKA Bad Baby.
You don't know what she's saying, but the beat is where it's at.
Does anyone know what any rapper is saying these days? It's about the beat and the hook.
Yeah,
Right?
nowadays a lot of hip hop artists it's all about the producer now.
Yeah.
It's all about the producer, the beats, EDM, all that
Right.
stuff.
If
It's
you
all
go
about the producer.
Because the beat will.
song.
Anybody can probably go
Right.
over that beat and have a hot song,
Yeah.
right? Because that
Mike
Yeah.
Hill made it. Isn't that what? Oh, Mike Will made it. That's what.
really, Mike.
No, it's just Mike Hill made it.
Oh,
I like that.
say it again.
Mike Hill made it.
Oh my God,
What
that
the
sounds
hell?
so gay.
Unstable podcast. Here you are.
I gotta give it to
mustache.
that did.
Follow
sound-
us on Instagram. You can follow Instagram and Twitter at Unstable with the D, Unstable Podcast. Also on Facebook, Unstable Podcast with the D. And on YouTube, Unstable Podcast, all with a D. And email us if you have any questions or you want to tell us something. Just email us at unstablepodcast@gmail.com. Unstablepodcast@gmail.com. Make
That's
sure
where
you
you can
follow.
continue to send that fan mail to Guy Tori.
Yeah,
That's
and you know what? And keep on commenting. Whether you agree with us or not, we love it. We appreciate you watching the show, and whether you love us or not, keep that involvement is great. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Who reads the emails that we get? Because I've never read any.
Jerron,
Do we get them?
Jerron, you read
Jerron, you
the
read
emails, don't
emails?
you?
Who reads them?
Yeah, I read them all the time.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
forward? Do we get any emails? Where do we
Well,
get
Guy, you
most
get
of our
alerts.
feedback is from
From
YouTube.
females.
I don't read.
What?
I don't go back and look at the show. Unfortunately, I probably should, but the
don't?
comments I don't look at the comments. But I
just
get
want
I get the
Jerron.
alerts, so I got all the alerts. So I have my shitstorm umbrella.
Yeah, and can we not fight with YouTube commenters?
Why are you looking at
No,
me?
that's Claudia. Claudia answers.
I'm saying.
She's the only one
that
Can
answers
we not
back.
just fight with them?
I'm the one who's home the most, right? Currently, I'm between jobs.
She answers
So I have
everybody
a lot
back.
of time because I'm very interactive. I like the fans to feel like that people are reading what we say,
Yeah.
like we see what they say and that they're included in this. And sometimes they come from my neck a lot. Like you got it the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is because when I'm out on the road and I'm doing my shows, it's like man, I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
But then those comments humbled the hell out of me. It
Don't
brought my ass back down to earth.
Don't they?
No,
Guy ain't
that's all
funny.
right.
Guy ain't shit.
Right.
Leave him off the show.
You can't listen to
No,
all
so-
that
but
stuff.
it's
Mike
their,
Hill ain't got
but
no
it's
mustache.
but it's their opinion. It's their
Right,
opinion,
right.
and their opinion matters. I mean, it don't matter.
Sometimes,
what I mean
but you
is,
know what? Here's the thing: there is their opinion, but sometimes they say things knowing,
Yeah, but it's
knowing it's going to hurt you, and they
That's
may
it.
not.
Yeah,
they
but-
may not mean that because a lot of times on Twitter, people will come after you. You know how it is on Claudia. They'll come after you on Twitter. They'll say certain things to you just to get a reaction from you,
Right.
just so you can say something back to them. And when you say something back to them, then all of a sudden they're your best friend.
Right.
And I watch you all the time. I'm a big fan of yours. My man Gary Payton comes in the house.
Gary
GP,
Payton in the
Champ is
building.
the
here.
Hall of Famers in the
Hey,
house. GP,
welcome.
what up,
Champ is
GP?
here.
That's right. Long time no see. That's my dude right there. Sitting here, the podcast. What up, G? What's up, man? Good to see you again. What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome. We have
Welcome.
a
Come on.
legend in the
Yes,
studio.
yes.
The glove.
The
Gary
glove.
Payton in the studio.
One of the biggest.
Okay, all right.
A man that always keeps it real. You're talking
Man.
about a great shit talker. And you know what? But we like to expand our vocabulary around here. So it is time now for our word of the day. And
Oh,
Gary,
man,
you're just in time for
I
that.
was gonna make our guest.
Who gonna do the word of the day?
I'm gonna do the word of the day.
Oh, okay, let me hear you.
And then we all gotta make a sentence using the word of the day.
Oh, okay.
I know you just
Okay.
got here. We just kind of we didn't
yeah,
even like.
y'all
Just
done
throwing-
put me into something.
Wait, so we
throw you in.
so we ain't
You
got.
going in the game like that, man? Come
So-
on.
Yeah, I like games like
So we
that.
just gonna throw him in cold, not even like lube him up. We're just gonna
No,
just throw
no,
him in the
just go
game.
right in. Yeah,
That's
he's
it.
ready.
Come on now, that's the
Come on,
glove
I
right
ain't
there.
tripping. Come on, let's do
You
it.
understand
Okay.
that is
Well, the word
defensive
of the day
all-star.
was actually a popular word. The word of the day is called shithole. Shithole. Now you heard that word a lot of times, but we heard it a lot in the past few days because of our president use it.
Yours.
And the definition of shithole is a horrible city in which to live, work, or party in. Shithole. A horrible city in which to live, work, or party in. So here's my sentence. A couple of weeks ago when two unstable podcast hosts got into a fight, after the fight, the studio was a shithole to work in and do the rest of the podcast. Shithole.
Okay.
Who got in the fight?
You don't know what you got
Oh,
into, GP.
Guy and Mike got into a fight in the parking lot. Like shirts came off and everything, and Shins got
What was going on?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
We talked about it.
Y'all,
We
y'all,
talked
y'all,
about
had,
it.
y'all had something?
Hey,
We'll talk about
cocaine
it.
is a hell of a
We're gonna
drug.
let you look back at the other podcast,
Yeah.
man, and get caught up.
Okay,
Yeah, you got to get
okay.
caught up on
Gary,
the other podcast.
we've done a lot of work to get to this point where we can all be here.
Yeah, don't pick at the scab. Don't pick
We
at the scab.
woosah, woosah, woosah.
I got a couple of
Guy,
questions for
you-
you.
Guy, you
I got a
gonna
couple of
call me
questions
with
for you
that?
later.
Yeah, okay.
Is it okay if I ask you about your son?
Man, I don't care.
Okay, because
No
my parenting
problem.
skills, my parenting comments are taking out.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he was a
Taking out
comment
wax.
about us.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later.
the parenting
So who else
stuff.
got a shithole?
Oh, shithole.
Go
Okay, go
ahead,
ahead.
GP.
GP, you go ahead. Go ahead, G.
Yeah, everybody say I live in a city that is a shithole, which is Oakland, but they're a damn lie.
I like Oakland. I was just in Oakland last week.
Shithole with a
Yeah,
black hole. though.
I was just in Oakland. All right.
Yeah.
All right, shithole. Let me see. It seems like most of Trump supporters live in shitholes.
Oh wow.
Okay.
By the end, if he gets to his end of his 4-year term, this country will become a huge shithole.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's ironic that he used the word shithole so much because Trump's mouth looks like a shithole. A pink one.
Pretty good, Claudia. I like that. I like that. I like that one. I like that one.
So
Yeah,
this
I like that.
so this is how we're gonna end it up because the media was saying that he really didn't say shithole. Now they're trying to say he said shit house.
No, the media didn't say that. His people said
his
that
people.
to the media.
So
Yeah.
peep this. Today when I was sitting at home getting high, well, you don't need to hear all that. But I was sitting at home and I went onto the Urban Dictionary and the definition for shit house is, check this out. It describes President Trump. Someone who is the epitome of scum, the lowest of the low, someone who has absolutely no morals, a person who is just out for themselves, has no regard for anyone else, and he wears orange makeup. It's crazy. Right there. It's right there.
So people are saying he said shit house and not shit hole.
Right.
And shit house means what you
Basically
just said.
him, yeah.
Right,
See
right.
how it actually
Way to
works.
describe yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
So
that's all.
maybe he did say it because he's a shit house.
Well, all of this came about because he was talking about immigration. They had this big meeting at the White House. Democrats and Republicans were there. Senator Durbin is the one that came out and said he said shithole. Of course, his people coming out saying he said shit house, and there was some foul language being used. Well, they had the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristen Nielsen. She was being grilled. What's the day? Monday, Tuesday? What's the day? Tuesday. She's being grilled on Tuesday in front of the Senate committee, talking about it, and she pleaded ignorance when it came to that. And Cory Booker, one of the senators out of New Jersey, came for her head. Listen to what Cory Booker had to say about that.
The commander-in-chief, in an Oval Office meeting, referring to people from African countries and Haitians with the most vile and vulgar language. The language festers. When ignorance and bigotry is allied with power, it is a dangerous force in our country. Your silence and your amnesia is complicity. Right now in our nation, we have a problem. I don't know if 73% of your time is spent on white supremacist hate groups. I don't know if 73% of your time is spent concerned about the people in fear in communities in this country, Sikh Americans, Muslim Americans, Black Americans. The fact pattern is clear of the threats in this country. I hurt. When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about his experience in that meeting. And for you not to feel that hurt and that pain and to dismiss some of the questions of my colleagues, saying I've already answered that line of questions when tens of millions of Americans are hurting right now because of what they're worried about what happened in the White House. That's unacceptable to me. There are threats in this country. People plotting. I receive enough death threats to know the reality. Kamala receives enough death threats to know the reality. Maisie receives enough death threats to know the reality. And I've got a president of the United States whose office I respect, who talks about the countries of origins of my fellow citizens in the most despicable of manner. You don't remember. You can't remember the words of your commander-in-chief.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
listen to that.
You better go ahead, Cory Booker.
he-
You better get ready for 2020.
There you
That's
go.
right.
And he could be setting himself up. But that's what politicians usually do when they're in front of the Senate. They say, I don't recall, pleading ignorance. She was in the room, and she's saying that she heard some very strong language, but you know shithole
But
if you heard shithole.
Republicans, Lindsey Graham also came out. Wasn't Lindsey
Lindsey
Graham
Graham, yep.
who came out for a Republican to say, he said it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a Democrat that said it. So y'all need to quit lying. I know Republicans, you're so used to lying. Oh, I didn't play footsies with that boy in the bathroom. Oh, I didn't cheat on my wife. Oh, I'm not
just
a
have a
white
wide
supremacist.
stance. Yeah.
Oh, I
watched-
don't have a white cape and a hood in my house. Shut the fuck up with your lying. You're doing too much. You represent people. You're ruining our country. You're complicit. You really are. And you will be voted out in 2018.
Remember it in the midterms.
They had on CNN, Jake Tapper was talking to Mia Love, who's the first Haitian congresswoman to ever be
Wasn't that
selected to
Minnesota?
Congress.
No. Where was
No,
that from?
she's and she's a Republican, and she had trouble. Utah. She had trouble saying when Jake Tapper asked her, "Is he a racist?" and was that wrong? She tried to struggle and say no, but she had to say yeah. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's like you're a Republican, you're Haitian, and he talked about your country
He
being
drew a
shithole.
line a long time ago.
Yeah.
Man. He drew a line a long
Call
time
it
ago.
what it
But she
is.
No way
struggled
he
to get
can
that
hide
interview
it.
out, man. It was hard watching her like bow down and say, yeah, it was racist.
Gary, have you ever met Donald Trump?
No, I haven't. Don't want to.
Okay. I used to be friends with him, and I worked with him a few times, and I'm not anymore. I stopped being friends with him when he started going in on Barack Obama and saying that he wasn't an American citizen. And to me, what that was reminiscent of, when you ask a black man for his papers,
Right.
that reeks of how it was
Yes.
in slavery to me.
Yeah.
Like, boy, let me see your papers. Prove to me that you deserve to
Yeah.
be here. And
That's
I just couldn't
cold
fuck with
word.
it after that. I could have easily been down and kept my
Right.
mouth shut and continued to benefit from the relationship because friendship. I know y'all bloggers.
And you could have gotten a job at the White House.
I probably could have, because really
You
there's
could
no.
have been the other nigga wrangler.
Yeah.
But Omarosa.
I can't say that word anymore.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
right. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Well,
Say it.
apparently biracial girls aren't black.
You're black, Claudia.
Trust me, I know.
I hang with you,
You're
you a
good. I know
nigga.
you.
Don't lie to her.
I see your
Yes.
roots.
You see the elbows too.
Oh, you done got in a little trouble with my
What?
Wait, what?
You got in a little trouble about
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, like
Couple,
everything,
yeah.
everything I say, it's like she's a colorist. She's like dark skin. I'm like, I
Those are
love
people that
dark
don't
skin.
know
What are
you.
you talking about?
They
I
have
think
no
I
idea.
am one actually. Like
Well,
my-
we got our guest here, and our guest, wanted a hookup, as Mike Hill calls it.
A hook.
Yeah,
A hook.
and he likes to drink
Tito's.
Oh,
All right.
shit.
They
Nigga,
like
is
love
that, hold on, is that a
meals.
sponsor?
Yeah.
And I think, well, we're trying to get a sponsor.
Okay.
You know, so-
Hey,
Wait
Tito.
till they pay us first.
I got one though. I
Okay.
got one.
You got a
That's
Tito
all
sponsorship?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I'm
Get
gonna make
out
my
with
Moscow meal. I think I make some of the best Moscow
do.
meals around. So.
You
I'm gonna tell you, that's the reason I apologize to you guys, because I
Nigga, that's
love it.
hilarious. That nigga apologized because he been sober for 2
Man.
weeks.
You ain't dirty.
Hey,
I'm
can I-
straight.
Can I
It
tell
ain't
hey,
no smack
God,
hole.
that's the reason I really apologize to you, because I miss your Moscow
That
meal,
nigga done
bro.
went out. He went out and been sober 2 weeks. He said, I need to fix this shit.
I was like, damn, I'm gonna miss those Moscow meals, man.
Darren,
need to squash this
you
shit.
really missed quite an episode with these two.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of shocked.
First of
Because
all,
these two was like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I got with both of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you be shocked.
I thought we
I'm
were
shocked.
too.
I'm shocked.
would you be shocked to hear
Sure.
that they were in the parking lot squaring up and shirts came off? And would you be?
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to
They
talk
had
to.
their
I'm
shirts
gonna have
off.
to talk to both of them.
GP.
after this.
Listen,
So
them
you
niggas-
ever got into it with a teammate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah,
GP,
yeah.
tell me that story you
Well-
told me about Vernon Maxwell.
Yeah.
This nigga had his shirt off in a like he
In
was a
locker
new
room.
edition.
This is
What?
He had his shirt off.
But
like
you
he
know
was Ralph
what?
Tresvant.
You know what? That happens. It's just like brothers too.
Yeah.
Brothers fight like that. You got to get it out sometime. You know what I'm saying? And then you let it go. You know, just move on. Don't linger it on. Don't do none of that. I done had this going on with my brother for a couple of months now, and we finally had it out too. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It happens. Y'all buddies.
Yeah, it's just
man.
men.
Y'all,
You
it's just
got-
men.
you
Y'all buddies.
get it out,
Y'all
you
buddies.
blow it off, and
Blow
you
it off.
move on,
Move
man.
on, man.
It's just like teammates.
Life too short for y'all.
Let me tell you
to be
something.
like
A friend
that.
of
Yeah.
ours was in the line. I ain't gonna say his name because he always say, just stop saying I said that. But he was like, yo, they two men. It's gonna happen. Because I was the idiot trying to stop him. Like, yo, would y'all stop? He said, they two men. Let it happen. And I just walked off like, God damn, I can't believe I'm about to let these niggas
We're
fight.
gonna drink to it.
If,
So-
Well, we
can
drink to
you
it.
give me a hook? Can you make me a hook?
You mean a right hook or a drink, nigga?
Let's name it the
So
right.
those of you who want to know how to make Moscow mules, it's 6 ounces of ginger beer. I like this ginger beer right here.
Yep.
It's a shot and a half of vodka. It's some ice.
We're gonna get 2
and
more
it's
shots.
also,
We're gonna get 3 shots of
vodka,
2 shots of
yeah.
vodka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gee, real quick, man, that Vernon Maxwell story, because that was funny.
Please
to me.
get to that.
Well,
little bit of lime juice.
It might have didn't
little bit
happen
of
the way
Rose's
y'all
lime.
happened. It happened with y'all. It was like we was at practice and a lot of things was getting heated up.
Just say it low.
It was
Add the-
built.
with the
It was
leaves.
built. Say it out. Go ahead. What
Keep
else you got?
talking. They
okay.
talking, but say it. You got to add the leaves.
And then practice got a little heated. Vernon was he was mad about a lot of things, so he was messing practice up, and he was guarding Brent Berry at the time. So I told him to switch. So I told him, I said, look, Vern, don't come over with that shit, man, because I'm not gonna deal with that. So Vern kept doing it. Then we closed practice out, and he pushed me. He pushed me and
Sounds
pushed me
familiar.
into the wall. So then, I swung on him in practice, and
That's
then we
familiar.
stopped. And then I told him, I said, look, you won't be able to come no more to practice without me whooping your ass every day I see you. So I said, let me go on over here and go in the locker room. I said, you ain't coming to the locker room to get dressed. And he was like, yeah, whatever. So as soon as he came in the locker room, I had to wait 10-pound weight.
10 pounds.
Bust him upside his head. Man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for all that, man.
You did a Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy.
I'm not gonna hurt
So
these
UCLA.
coaches.
UCLA.
Listen, I can't hurt these good hands. Man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, these good hands.
He was the
You
glove.
can't hurt the glove.
I can't hurt that,
And
man.
y'all got past that.
Yeah, and we got past that, and me and Vern real tight right now. You know, I can hang out with
Because
Wait,
he
Vern.
so
watches
you-
I
back
can
when
hang
you
out with
around,
Vern
nigga. That's
anytime.
why.
So you hit him with a weight? Did it?
It was only 10 pounds.
10-pound
He
weight.
said it was
No,
only
only
10
10
pounds.
pounds?
He
Yeah,
said-
yeah.
Did you
That
hit
hurt.
did you
That
crack the
hurt.
white meat? Did you see the white meat on that?
No, I didn't hit the white meat. You know who I hurt? Horace Grant. I broke his pinky.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I broke it.
Ricocheted.
I broke
Yeah.
You
his
think they
Yeah.
forgive you? Them niggas watching your back.
They was mad at me, man. So it's cool. You know, it is what it is.
Hey, but another fight. You know, I do some work for the Clippers, and you know, last night they had the Rockets. CP3 came back into town, and afterwards it got heated during the game because they went at it at Blake. Apparently, Austin Rivers was on the bench, and from what I heard, Chris was calling Blake. He called Blake a bitch like 50 times during the game. And afterwards, it got a little bit more intense and a little bit more heated. And you heard where they're saying CP3 wasn't a part of it, but Trevor Ariza, James Harden, and Gerald Green went into the locker room in the back of Staples Center trying to get into the Clippers locker room.
I heard that.
Wow.
And tried to start an altercation. The police were called, and now the NBA's investigating and all that stuff. Just your thoughts on what you heard went down at Staples Center.
Well, basically, it's nonsense to me. I mean, you know, you don't want to fight in the basketball game anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. In my day, I would have just said, "Yo, look, let's wait to the club." That's all we gotta do. you gotta come on these streets. So I'm not into all that going in the locker room and all that crazy stuff, man. Just wait till you see me on the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I deal with it on the streets. Most of these dudes ain't gonna want to fight anyway. So you know, let them do what they gotta do. All that showboating and all that nonsense, man, when security is around and all that crap, man, let that security be there. When you see one of these dudes on the streets by themselves, ain't none of them gonna knuckle up.
But back
So-
when you played, it was the real NBA. I mean,
Real.
they really knuckled up. That's when we heard
Shit, we
stories
had-
of Charles Oakley going into practice.
Y'all
and
didn't
slapping
even
the hell
have
out of
technical fouls. You could
See?
just trip
Yeah.
Jordan.
But
and it was
Charles-
just a regular foul.
But you gotta understand, Charles didn't talk about he gonna go in the locker room. Like I said, he'll wait for you to get somewhere else where he can run up on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is, man. If they want to be mad about that situation, tell everybody, let's see each other somewhere else.
Is there someone in the NBA that got on your goddamn nerves that you wish you could have like whipped their ass like just one good time and just like get a, you know?
Claudia, none of them want to get out with me anyway, because I ain't on that.
I'm sure they would have.
I ain't on that. So, you know, it's none of them that I wanted to get, because I could get anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in our day, we used to party a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And we went to clubs. So they always had clubs. So, you know, they be up in there and you get ran up on. You're going to get run up on by some real dudes.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody I really didn't want to knuckle up. You know, it was Tinsley. Remember the guy?
Jamal Tinsley.
Jamal
Yeah,
Tinsley.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to get him real bad. You know
Really?
what I'm saying? So
What did he
because
do?
he just ran his mouth a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as I got older, I left it alone. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to get him, and I never could catch him nowhere in the club. So, you know, so it was one of them things.
No, it used to be fun where a lot of people used to come out to. Remember, Magic Johnson used to have the Midsummer Nights.
Midsummer Nights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened? to
That's
those?
when LA
That
was
awesome.
dope.
That's when LA was popping.
Popping.
It was popping.
Yeah.
You
man.
can go out and get
Everybody-
10 free cigars
Man,
and
he
drinking.
he had all
Midsummer
the
Nights was off the
The
hook.
carnivals and all that old stuff, man. You remember that he used to have it at the like the little airplane,
The
You used to
hangar.
have
Hangar. Santa Monica hangar.
Yeah, he used to have.
That's when it was
everybody.
hard for people. Like they didn't just let anybody up in there. So it was
Right.
it was a dope crowd. Like people would come dressed, and the girls would look good, and the guys would be suited up, and it really, you know, everybody would be like successful up in there and have
the
something
hell
going on.
happened to that?
Well,
It
the
got
last one he
ratchet.
did his
Because
25th anniversary.
Yeah, he got
Last one
tired.
did.
Yeah, he got tired of it, and then you remember he passed it on to
Byron Davis
and
Paul Pierce, wasn't
Paul
it?
Pierce,
Right.
and
Right,
then
because they're from L.A.
they couldn't really keep it up like
Right.
him, you know, because
Right.
he would bring in the Jordans, he would bring in all them type of dudes, man, Pippins and
He brought in
stuff
LeBron
like that.
and Carmelo when they were rookies, when they first got drafted.
and that's what the people wanted to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had much respect for that, and it's just like when you give a party, he know how to give a party. You know? That's it.
Everybody came out. I
and
miss
that's
it,
the
man.
Magic Man.
That's
man.
when
Yeah,
LA.
he did.
That's
Yeah,
classic
yeah.
LA right
I
there.
caught the last one. That was the only one I went to. He did the last
Man,
one.
you
I
missed
Where
it.
was
wasn't
that
there.
at?
Which-
Where was it at?
That was on the top of the building where he did it when
Well,
he
that's
was
when I
putting
put
together
his
the
roast
comedy
together.
show.
Yeah, he wanted me to put a comedy show together, and
Yeah.
the budget wasn't that great.
Yeah, that was
so
the last
I said, let me put a
one.
roast together for you and let us roast you. So I had Steve Harvey host it, and I got a few comedians, man, and we roasted them.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
man.
everybody
Yeah.
used to be there.
Yeah.
That was the last
Shout
one.
out to Guy Torrey for the exceptional drink, the Moscow Mule. Once again, brother, you will never have any issue out of me ever again.
That's all it
Just
took,
want to
huh?
let you know, because his Moscow Mules are the best.
Really?
They really. And you know what? I was actually going to miss like those kiss your mama greens or slap your mama greens.
I ain't saying nothing about nobody parenting, nobody's kids. It's just mean green. We got a mean green.
Oh no! What did you used to call them, man? Don't be sensitive now.
What's it
I'm
called?
fucking with you.
What's it called?
Give it up greens.
Give it up greens.
Because
Give it
every
up
time I
greens.
cook them, panties drop.
Say word.
Make the best greens in the world.
His greens are good. He can cook. Now, God, would you say you got a little bit of what kind of blood?
Yeah,
in
he
him?
got a pint of bitch blood in him. This dude is
Pint of
really
bitch
getting the
blood.
kitchen. He can
Because
really
I can cook.
Because
I
God
cook
can
two
cook.
dishes.
He
That's
could
it.
really, he can make
Cook
some
two
his
dishes.
greens
Guys, hold
with
on
the
a second.
sausages. He got a pint of bitch
Claudia.
blood, Betty Crocker.
Yes.
Anytime you hear a guy
That nigga beast in the
that
kitchen.
dresses very well, is always
He
concerned
don't
about
mix
the way he
Adidas.
dresses, always worries about the way he dresses, his house is immaculate. I mean, like always
It is.
decorated perfectly.
He's very neat.
and he cooks and cares about his grooming and whatnot. You know, that's a little. You know, sometimes you would
No,
think.
but I mean, what that-
you would
that-
think.
that's-
No,
that's-
I know you're straight. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
no, I'm just had nothing to do with being straight, but it's just the fact that we were raised to be independent. So everybody in my family's like that. Our parents raised us to be independent, but so I mean, I only cook two dishes well.
But you
Really?
cook a lot.
I'm a bachelor.
Yeah, well, you.
Gary, can you cook?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Word? What's your
What's your
best
specialty?
dish, though?
You know what I like to really cook? I like to cook soul food. You know,
Yeah.
I like to
Oh,
cook.
wow.
I cook candy yams, cabbage,
oh, yeah, he Oakland. He a nigga.
fried
Oakland.
chicken,
Oh, yeah.
From the town.
cornbread, stuff like that.
357. Oaktown 357 in the building.
Potato
we
salad.
have to have you
That-
back
that
on
was-
the
that
show.
was me,
I've
yeah.
been to
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of Gary and B. Shaw's fish fries.
Yeah. See, I'm like God. You know what I'm saying? I'm really clean. My house, you come in there, everybody be like, man, do you live here? You know what I'm saying? if they put a drink like this right here, this is a bother me because I'll be cleaning up in a minute.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
me.
Oh, yeah,
Like, That's
okay.
me, man.
You
I'm
got
just,
a little ADD.
I'm
Oh,
on
yeah.
that. I'm on
Yeah.
that so bad. You know what I'm saying? You could come on my house and play dominoes, but y'all gotta put y'all cups on stuff, man. You gotta throw
Really?
stuff
I
away,
feel you
man.
on that.
Well, it is what it is. And then I like to keep my cars clean. I don't like people to mess up nothing. You got to take your shoes off in my house, man.
Yeah, I
You
underdig.
got to do all of that. I give you the socks. You keep the socks. You can have all that. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
Socks you
it's
played
like
in,
that.
oh, NBA socks you played in.
Yeah, shit. I give them whatever
Souvenir.
they need, man. Souvenir, man.
You still got your spot in Vegas?
I still got my spot in Vegas.
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
So it's like I'm just a clean freak. You
What's
know what I'm
something
saying?
shocking about you or something that people do not know? Like maybe a skill that you have? Like, I don't know, do you like have a hobby that people would be like, what? Gary Payton does that? Like you paint, you're a painter? Or like,
It's
I don't
something
know.
they wouldn't know about you. Like if I drive to you on the left, can I blow by you? Or like what?
You know what, Claudia? I do a lot. You know, I do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I play dominoes. I shoot pool. Everybody, I'm just real competitive,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody don't know. You know, I can play hopscotch, jacks. I can do anything.
You can play
No,
hopscotch.
so-
I would
so-
love
so
to
the-
see you play
yeah,
hopscotch.
yeah,
I do all that.
The
Yeah, I do
hopscotch.
all
See how
that.
tall that nigga is?
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then bend over and get all of the things. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
I do
Hold
all-
on, wait a minute.
Bend
Hold on.
over, bend over and get all the little rocks. You know what I'm saying? She done said, oh, man, come on now.
We thought
Now,
we thought he had
Claudia-
some real
now.
breaking news.
Man.
This is about to go viral.
And Claudia went on that. Did you go on that for
This
real?
was
man?
about to
She
go
always
on.
goes, you know I'm the straightest one. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I'm the straightest one.
say,
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't mean you.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Ben someone else. Anyways, just go.
Well,
go,
we can play that way too, though. You know, yeah,
go
it's all
commercial.
good.
We got
You were emphatic. You looking at Claudia. You know I'm the straightest one.
Yeah,
Why is he looking
straightest.
at you like that though, Claudia? He's like,
He's saying you niggas is gay, and he's the straightest one here. Okay, that's
No,
what
he
I
said
took
he's
from
straight
it.
Nah, I didn't
he's
say
the
that.
straightest
say that.
one.
He said he's straight as one.
Yeah.
That's the number one is what he was talking
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
We got Hall of
I
Famer,
guess we-
NBA Hall of Famer Gary
My
Payton in the
man
house,
GP in
man.
the house.
So your son Gary Payton the second, because he's not the junior. You have a junior and
got
you
a
have a
junior,
second.
right.
All right. Gary Payton the second just got signed to the Lakers, man.
Congratulations.
Dang, that's
Congratulations.
nice.
That's
Awesome.
dope.
Thank
He went to
you.
Oregon State, right?
Right. He went
Yeah.
after me. You know, he played after me, and he was playing where he was starting from Milwaukee for a little
Right.
bit, and then you know how this NBA is right now. This NBA is a little different. You know, the owners they want to save a lot of money. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Because they're giving out a lot of money. So it's a little different. So they'll save any dollar they want. So if a guy that they know that deserves it but doesn't have a guaranteed contract and could get cut with every day that is supposed to be cut, they'll save money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even if he's talented. So he's going through that process. But I gotta, it's hard for a Hall of Famer and a great basketball player and their son to make it. You know what I'm saying? They don't grow up like we grew up. I grew up on the playgrounds, real hard. He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's got to be a little tougher, and I'm glad that he's getting an opportunity. But now he's got to get the opportunities and take advantage of it. He has to take advantage of it. And I started to stay on him, but it's hard for him to listen to me because I'm his dad. You know what I'm saying? He hear me that all the time about the same situations, and it's like go through one ear and out the other. It's one like that. With my father, I was a little different because he was really, really more tough.
Payton.
He was really more tough. You know what I'm saying? He was really tough, and he'll put his hands on us. You know what I'm saying? So I would listen, and then I would want to make a point to him. That was my whole goal, to make a point to my dad.
Right.
I wanted to prove to him that you always telling me that I'm soft and I'm not this, but I'm gonna show you that I am something, and that's what I am. These kids today are not like that.
Right.
It is what it is.
Rest in peace, Papa Payton.
Absolutely, man.
And
That's legendary.
I saw him in Sacramento one time. I almost put his hands on security when he let him back in the family area.
Yeah. He was a piece of work, man. He'll run up on you. He'll run up on you.
I did want to ask you about another guy who had a father that played professional basketball, but he went on to become a little bit more famous. And Kobe Bryant, of course, you played with the Lakers back in 2004. That season, I mean, you guys had the original dream team. You had that team before LeBron was putting those super teams together. You, Karl Malone, Shaq, Kobe didn't work out because of everything that Kobe was going through.
And then Malone got hurt too.
Malone got hurt. Yeah, he tore his ACL and tried to play in the NBA Finals, whatever. You guys got knocked off by the Detroit Pistons.
Right.
What was it like, man? Honestly, the whole Kobe situation, man. We hear rumors of you guys putting Kobe in a room and smacking him around and all that stuff, man. Give us a deal of that season.
That's not true.
Okay.
What it was is when we got together, we didn't think that the season was going to go the way it went. Okay, so it started off with Kobe getting in trouble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
With the rape situation.
With the
in
situation,
Denver.
right? Yeah. So that hurt us from the beginning. Okay, so we go to training camp and we start off and everything is fine and dandy. We're good. And then we're playing Hawaii, and then Shaq gets into it with Dr. Buzz.
Yeah, I remember
about his contract. So that really turned it up. That really turned it off. And Dr. Buzz didn't appreciate how Shaq was talking to him, but he couldn't trade him at the time because he had put this team together. But everybody don't understand. We started off 18-2.
Yeah.
You remember, we were 18-2, and then the biggest thing that hurt us was Karl. Because Karl kept our team together because he was the one who ran the triangle and got us all together. You remember, I was leading the score on that team at the time when we was 8-2. I was averaging 18. Everybody else was averaging 17, and we were playing really well. And then I'm the only one who played 82 games. So everybody, Karl missed 60. Shaq missed about 40, and then Kobe missed about 30 something himself.
And then dealing with the distractions.
And then what we did was we decided that we were going to be big brothers. Karl was going to take Shaq, and I was going to take Kobe. So I started being around Kobe a lot. I started getting him to open up. He was opening up a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that was a big thing for him, to open up. And he was going through the things, and I had him and his wife come out to a couple of events that we were doing. We were going to dinner a lot, and it just couldn't work. You know what I'm saying? Because there was too much going on. People were going back and forth. We tried to have meetings, and it didn't work. The meeting didn't work. So we tried to.
Why didn't it work though? Why didn't it work in your?
Because it was too many egos. You know, you have too many egos. When you have too many egos that are really, really big and they don't want to compromise, and then you're young. You know, a lot of them, two of them were young, and you got a lot of money, and you're very, very popular.
And don't won a championship already, right?
Yeah, you don't won championships, and there's 4 popular guys in here who are Hall of Famers, and we're trying to make something happen. And if you don't want to cooperate, if one apple don't want to cooperate, the other 3 can't make it without the other one. You know what I'm saying? So we did it, and we went to the championship, but we needed everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then Karl gets hurt again, and it hurt us even worse. And then by that time, all his decisions had been made on the Lakers or what was going to happen next.
So the rumors, real quick. So it never happened when you guys pulled Kobe to the side and had a stern talking to, smacked him around, put him in the bathroom. That never happened.
Never happened. It was a different conversation. We all had a meeting. We had everybody to talk it out. It was only like 6 of us in there. And we had all of them talk it out, and everybody talked it out. And what we did was we let everybody get the floor and tell them what was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard everybody's problem, and then it just couldn't work. You know, a couple of guys didn't want to deal with that situation, and then some of them said fuck it, and it was one of them. So, but we dealt with it because we became more together. I was with Kobe on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Carl was with Shaq on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So we started becoming that way. And then when we got on the floor, we played until we got into the championship.
Well, clear up this last rumor. The whole situation where they said Kobe and Carl didn't get along because Carl made a pass at Kobe's wife, Vanessa.
That was after we left. Yeah. I heard about that the year after because they traded me and Shaq. Okay. And then Carl stayed around, and that's a whole different thing why he stayed around for that reason. And it wasn't that. I heard it was in the family room or whatever. Right. It was a lot of joking going around. She said something, he said something back, and then she ran and told Kobe, and then they took it in a different
That was a misunderstanding.
Okay. Misunderstanding. They just took it in a different way, and then it blew up to another.
I remember the beginning of that season, though, when you all first came to the Lakers. It was weird because Shaq had a welcome to L.A. party for you and Karl Malone, and Kobe was going through the whole thing, and then the party was festive, and then when Kobe walked in, it was like E.F. Hutton walked in. Everything got quiet, and he walked in, he made a little walk through, and then he stayed maybe like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Then he just broke out.
Right.
Now put this rumor to bed. And I'm glad you're here to say this because you said something earlier that I wanted to people say, well, Kobe got Shaq traded. Will you tell people that Kobe did not have the power back then to get Shaq traded?
Not really, but you know what happened is that it was too much going on. And I think we all had meetings with Dr. Buss at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And when we all said what we had to say, I think Dr. Buss decided what he wanted to do. I think he wanted to go with the younger Kobe, and he didn't want a lot of us around.
Basically, he Garoppolo'd him.
Yeah, to overpower him because he knew Kobe couldn't talk to me and like he wanted to. He couldn't talk to Carl like he wanted to, and Shaq like that. So he wanted him to have his own team. So that's what he chose. Okay. He chose to go with the younger Kobe and let Kobe run his team, and they struggled for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And then they won a championship after when they put a lot of players back together, Gasol and Odom and all them and all of them and Bynum, and Fish and all of them. But I think what happened is that Dr. Buss made a choice. He made a choice to go with the younger guy,
right?
And that's who he wanted to go with. We don't know what Kobe said down. I don't really believe in that because you guys got to understand, Kobe is a great guy, You have to get to know him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to get to know somebody. Mm-hmm. Everybody always thought I was an asshole when I was playing basketball, but that's just the way I was. I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend on the basketball court. Off the court, I can be your friend anytime you want to.
Coolest dude you'll ever meet,
But after when you get on there, if my mama was on there, I'm going to bust her ass too. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's what I like about him because he kept it on the floor. He's not your friend on the floor. And, off the floor, if you would have got to talk to him more, because we got to understand, he didn't grow up around all that around his parents and stuff like that. It was a little bit, he didn't grow up that way.
Protected
so
more.
You needed somebody like us to break you in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what he needed.
Do you think that he gets a lot of unnecessary venom thrown his way that he doesn't necessarily deserve? Because if you don't hear from someone that knows him, you would think, oh, he's an asshole. He ruined the team.
Yeah, that's not true. I mean, this kid is a great kid. If you know him now and he's been retired for a year, he does a lot of things now. He goes a lot of places. He does a lot of things for Nike. And when you get to know him, you've seen him doing a lot of more interviews. He just did an interview with Shaq, which was a great interview. You guys got to look at it. It's pretty good. He does a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? He's about to start a show on ESPN. He's getting back into he's getting to the mode where he's going to show you guys what kind of person he is.
He's personable. He's good.
And that's where it's supposed to be. I think he wants to be an exec like Magic and Jordan and all that stuff.
The next level, Kobe.
He's going to go to the next level, and he's got that in him, and everybody's got to see it.
Okay, let's talk about the retirement speech because I'm the biggest Kobe apologist and Kobe fan. But that speech, I think it was next to Jordan's.
The bitterness speech.
It was horrible.
the one at Hall of Fame.
Because I saw you in the background. You and Shaq was either laughing or crying or something.
I didn't see it.
It was interesting.
It was interesting because when you go to stuff like that and you got a lot on your chest,
right,
a lot on your heart, you know what I'm saying, and you say the things that you really want to say.
Right.
Jordan did the same thing in his Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But me and Shaq was back there clowning about some other stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? But it was funny. It was funny because everybody thought we were laughing at Kobe, but we wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Not even a little bit?
No, not even a little bit. Because that's what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That's how he feel. When you into that type of situation,
the jersey retirement speech.
Yeah. And you retire 2 jerseys. Ain't nobody ever gonna get that done again. You know, the only thing I wish I could have seen. I wish I could have seen his mom and his dad there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Still got some issues with that.
I wish that could have been seen, and it is what it is. And his dad lived and his mom them live in Vegas out there with me. So I wish I could have seen them. That's the only thing that hurts me about any situation in this whole thing about that. Is that I don't see his parents, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wish
That's
I could
tough.
see.
But of course, he still has a beautiful family, Vanessa.
Yes.
He's got 3 kids now.
He's got
Yeah,
3
he got a
kids.
newborn.
Yeah.
So that's good for Kobe. Kobe, one of my favorite players of all time. Great guy, and so we wish him well in his retirement and whatnot. So we got the great Gary Payton here, Hall of Famer, hanging out with us. The glove.
Yes,
my
sir.
man, my colleague over. Used to be colleague
At the Foxy.
We used to do it
At the Foxy.
We had a good time. We had some good.
We was all right.
We used to hang out. We used to do some things.
I don't like to just drink just because. Like I need to have like a plan for the night. You know what I'm saying? Like just drinking.
What are some of your plans?
I don't have them tonight, so
Is this gonna sneak up on me?
Well, Claudia, you gotta just have a cocktail sometime.
Oh, I do.
Or just some coffee.
He said
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Well,
You don't need to have a plan for nothing.
I mean, I guess I think like the drinking by yourself in a house. Like I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I do.
She already got cats.
No, that's called having a problem.
You know what I'm saying?
I do that.
GP, that's like having a problem, dude. You know that if you're at home
you're-
drinking by yourself, that's a problem.
No, really. You be watching the game.
I guess.
Get a nice
Right.
little cocktail or something.
You get a little
But then
buzz.
my mind get to, let me get up out of here and I'm gonna leave right
Exactly.
after that. You know what I'm saying?
See,
And
that's what I'm saying. I like a
right after the
plan.
game. Right after the game. But sometimes you have it.
I don't want to be that chick that's like in the crib, like I'm 44, no kids, whatever. I'm not married, by myself with 2 cats, like just drinking out of them in the bottle. I just feel like
cats.
that looks.
You
really,
like cats?
I love
She got
cats.
2
You
cats.
love cats?
But my cat, y'all know my cats are cool, right? They play
6
fat. They act like dogs.
and-
I'm not a cat.
Six
I'm not a
and-
cat
okay.
fan.
6
at
and
all.
the other one. What's the other nigga name?
6
Shelly.
Shelly.
Shelly and 6. They don't let me sleep. They wake me up every day.
Here's what you guys don't know about Claudia. Everybody thinks Claudia's out here in these streets.
I'm really not.
Claudia is like at home 5 nights a week.
Watching,
She's like a
watching
bag
TV.
lady. I just
I
have
am.
no
Watching
idea.
TV.
She just sits at
Documentaries.
home.
Oh, wait. I don't know
And
about
watch
5 nights a
Judge
week. She
Wapner.
ain't out in them streets dating, but she's out in those streets at events.
Well, she'll go to an
Yeah,
event.
and nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
but
that.
She's
I
a
don't go
celebrity.
clubbing
anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't
She's
clubbed in a
celebrity.
long time.
But
But when I do, I post so many pictures. So
That's
it's
why I
just
said
like I'm
events, not
always
clubs.
out. Yeah.
Right.
But she don't tell you she like to gamble a lot.
Oh, she will. Well, she
I
told
know
us.
that.
You
Gambling
know that.
thing.
Yeah.
She gambles.
We know that.
She
Isn't
Isn't that
gambles.
funny how
No.
everybody knows this? Like it's crazy, right?
Gee.
Did we gamble together? And
Yeah, we gambled. We was in we was at
Vegas?
what's his name? No,
Chris Webber?
No, out in Connecticut.
Oh
Connecticut.
yeah.
We was at
Foxwoods.
Foxwoods.
Yeah, Jeffrey
Osborne, golf event.
He has the best. He has a really good celebrity golf.
Yeah,
Y'all
it's
want to go to
nice.
that?
It's
been
real
to
nice.
that.
Y'all should go to that. That's
I've
pretty
been.
good. Thank you, my friend.
It's a good one.
Absolutely.
I won that trip.
Oh, you play golf?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I just get people drunk.
Oh,
Just get in that cart and get everybody drunk
What's
and
your
eat all
favorite
their
drink?
food.
What's your favorite? Like, are you dark liquor?
I'm light.
I'm
light
correct.
liquor.
light,
I
too.
like Tito's. Tito's is I usually don't drink. I drink the Moscow Mules all the time too, because my sister comes over and makes them. Cause
You like vodka gimlets.
Yeah, she do that, and then I'm on Tito's just on the rocks with a little lime juice.
That's a
I
vodka
be,
gimlet.
I be trying to, it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, on the
but
rocks,
I just
yeah.
be trying to get a little buzz on, get 2 drinks,
Right.
and I'm good.
Let me
I
ask
just
you
gotta
something about like women on alcohol, and I want to know from all of you guys. Do y'all prefer when a woman's like look it up a little bit
Yes.
and y'all mess
No.
around?
No.
You said yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Not sloppy.
I don't. I don't.
Not
Not
sloppy,
not
but-
sloppy, but a little buzz because then a little bit more freak comes out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love when my woman
wait.
drunk.
See,
That's right, a little bit more freak
But Mike,
comes out.
Mike,
Yo.
she should have already had that freak in her.
But that's what I'm saying. It brings it out. It brings
yeah.
it
Had it
more.
freak in
It
already.
brings the freak out a
Let me
little
tell you
bit more. They
something.
get
If
a
I
little
put
bit more
on This Is Us and get my woman drunk, some shit going down, nigga. I'm trying to
This
tell
is
you.
us.
This Is Us.
What the hell?
What y'all gonna play?
NBC
Y'all,
show.
y'all gonna play? Y'all
TV
gonna,
show.
y'all gonna play? Y'all gonna play dress up and
Nigga,
all that
what?
stuff? Yeah, I know.
make
He
it
got,
dress up like-
his girl's Korean.
I
Yeah.
make her dress like Kim Jong Un, and I'm a
Ooh,
U.S. military.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You sending
Yeah,
your
the
missiles
Asian
over there? Yeah.
Of course.
You're sending your missiles
I'm
over
sorry.
there.
Are you trying?
freaking-
Are you trying to get her pregnant
Of course I am.
right now? Like,
If it happens, if you slip one by the goalie, it happens. We just,
does she know this?
Slip one
of
by the
course she
goalie.
knows. I mean, here's the thing. We live together, so you're not gonna have protection. I mean,
She's not on anything?
no.
Really?
No, we practice the
Pull out method.
yeah.
But though you
don't work.
still pre. You know,
Yeah,
you
just
still
pre-
pre.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
still gonna happen. But if you have a baby, just have one.
Yeah, just
So
roll.
what?
Listen,
Just
here's the
roll
thing,
with
man.
it.
I'm
Roll with it.
47 years old, and I think I want one now. So
Good.
if it happens,
So he
it
had a bad
happens.
experience because there was a time where some hooker told him that she had a baby, right? So for like 9 months, he was thinking that was his child, and then he found out that the hooker lied.
Everybody do that. Everybody do that. Everybody do that. Get tested. Get
I'm gonna tell you
tested. Get
something. I
tested.
thought for a long time I was alone. I'm telling you, man. When you watch these, I watch Maury different now. I'm like, yo, I feel this dude.
Yeah.
I feel it. I'm not
Better
the
make
only
a
one.
belly pool.
It's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
us that have babies lied on them. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Hey, get them checked. Just get them checked. That's
Feel
all.
that belly
Have you
button
ever had
up.
that happen to you?
I ain't never had that one happen. Nah. Y'all don't know. I don't run like that, man. I don't ride like
And
that.
GP, you are a mark though, man. Everybody knows who you are. When you play basketball, they still know who you are. So you're a mark, man. It's like, no.
Yeah. It's gonna be. They're gonna be walking down the street, and somebody gonna be drunk, hit them with a car.
Oh my God!
Town business.
Yeah, man. I ain't going for that player. I ain't going for that player. I ain't going for that.
Who's that dude? The Carolina Panthers. Who's that dude, man? That
Ray Carew.
Ray Carew.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
see, he
No.
did it silly though.
Oh, yeah.
But I ain't condoning none of that crap though, man. That ain't what's happening. I'm playing y'all. Y'all let that go.
So you're saying-
Let that go. I'm playing.
So you're saying you would have done it differently?
Yeah, I'm playing now. Yeah.
I hope he's joking because I don't want to be testifying in court like he did say that shit.
Yeah.
I would have been like, no, I wasn't. I was
Like
drunk.
50 Cent. He did
do you
that
have-
shit.
Drunk.
What's the wildest, like in your heyday when you were playing? I'm sure, like you hear stories about women like finding their way into players' rooms, and they find a way in. Like, what's the craziest experience you had? Like groupie stories, groupie
Because that
tales?
nigga was in
Have you had
Seattle,
anything
so
like that
yeah.
happen?
How was
Look,
Seattle?
look at the eyes light up. Look at the light.
He
The
got
light.
Claudia trying to get me in trouble.
No, he got
man.
one.
She trying to get me in trouble.
I'm saying, Mom, what
You
you,
ain't
know
saying
what
you had to
you
let
Up
her
in
did.
Seattle with them educated white
Every-
girls, what was you doing up there?
You know what?
How many teachers you fucked?
touch your penis,
See, but
perhaps.
we had it good though because we didn't have all this social media. We didn't have these IGs. We didn't have these
Right.
Get away with
phone
stuff back
cameras.
then.
You can get away with a lot of stuff.
MySpace came
it
around
was
and
a
fucked it
nice,
up.
yeah. It was freaky
Hey,
stuff
Sean
going
Kemp
on.
does have 13 children by like 9.
I think he got
different-
10. I
10
think
by
he got
9
like
different
10.
No,
women.
it's like 13.
It's I mean that's my man. So you know what I'm saying. If he wanted
was
to
a
do
lot
it,
of body people's
he didn't-
man.
He didn't invest in he didn't invest in condoms. So you know it is what it is. You know.
So did you ever have anything crazy like they showing up, or anyone ever get in your room without you like?
Yeah.
How do they do that?
What
did
happened?
Did they say they're like the wife or something, or the coach, or I don't
wasn't
know?
like that, Claudia. I couldn't tell this story, but you know,
You
it
can
was-
tell- it's
I was married.
unfiltered.
I was married at the time.
Okay.
Y'all,
It's not your fault.
I hope she don't get mad if she hear me about it or whatever. But
Not what
You're
you
in a
know,
safe place.
dating a girl, you know what I'm saying, and you know how you get you popular. And you know women don't know that you're gonna be with around a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it goes. So every city we go to, you know you're gonna have women.
Absolutely.
Everybody gonna sit around there.
Yeah.
You're gonna have one in every city, like they say. That's it happens.
video.
It happens, and then all of a sudden, it was another trust thing going on between me and her. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't trusting me. So you know what I'm saying? So she would call me, blow me up, and you know me, I'm still being the dude I'm due. I'm getting another one in another city. And then just so happened this day, I had a feeling.
I see
And
the same.
I left her down in the bar, and I said, I'm gonna be right back. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to check the room, right? I'm just gonna go up here and get something. Man, I walked in my room, right? So the phone rings, and it's her. So I'm like, oh, what's happening? And then all of a sudden she was like, all right, and jumped out the curtain window sill. The curtain window sill and say, I'm trying to see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, crazy, man. That was the day, man. And
So after you hit, what happened?
no, man, you know
after you went downstairs and got her and brought her back up.
that spooks me.
Yeah,
man.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a red flag.
That's a spook, man.
Wow,
You know
behind
what
the
I'm saying?
curtain.
She wasn't fine?
Behind curtain number 2.
Absolutely. You couldn't get rid of her, though. You know what I'm saying? Can't get rid of her. But it was one of them things where you got women like that. You know, if you do that and you got a lot of them and you doing a lot of things, things gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? It's shit, man. I done had a lot of stuff, man. Women dressing up as men, walking, trying to figure out where I'm at.
Damn.
Wow, that's a good story.
I done had some couple, man, where they walking down the thing trying to act like they're a man and see if it was me, and then I walk by. I'm like,
What?
The
They
scary
got disguises?
yeah.
The scary
Damn,
thing
that's
is in
another
your
level of
bank
game.
account, you have
Yeah.
aliens,
Yeah.
so people are gonna treat you differently when
Yeah.
they hear you.
Here's the thing.
Aliens.
All right, we got to wrap it up real quick, but I wanted to get into the real Michael Blackstone.
Michael Blackson.
Blackson and Kevin Hart got a little beef that's going
Yes,
on right now.
when I came in, Steve, I didn't hear about it until Steve walked in and you were
Yeah,
saying
they're having a little bit of beef. I saw in the Breakfast Club that Kevin Hart was kind of perturbed, if you will, that Michael Blackson was making jokes about him getting caught being, with a side chick on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And they was he was like, this is supposed to be my dude. Why is he out there? But you said Michael Blackson says.
Well, when you told me about it, I text Michael Blackson to see if it was true because Michael Blackson talks about a lot of people jokingly. It's all in fun what he does. So I asked him, was the beef real? He said, yeah, it's real. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He said that Kevin was going in on him, and he said that Kevin didn't really fuck with him like that. So I think Kevin was upset that Michael was talking about the whole infidelity thing, but Michael Blackson said the joke that he was telling on stage was basically like, Kevin shouldn't have admitted his guilt. He shouldn't have went on camera and said, hey, I did this, that, and whatever. And that's the joke he was doing. And I guess from what I understand, I'm gonna call the other side and see what's going on. But they were saying that Kevin got mad at that. So I guess on the Breakfast Club, what you saw, that Kevin was going in and saying, hey, that's my friend. And I don't know why he went in like that. But then Michael was saying that they're not really friends.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So basically, Kevin got sensitive that Michael Blackson made jokes about his marriage, about the infidelity, but Kevin had already made the video talking about his infidelity. It was already out there.
And Joey Wells, who opens for that tour, which is a great tour, man, he does a joke at the top of the
But
show
didn't
about
he get
that.
Kevin's
But I think
permission
he
probably
got
for doing something like that?
I'm not sure. He probably
you guys
did.
are comedians. You tell me all the time that nothing is off limits. I mean, you
Right.
talk about infidelity.
Right.
You talk about somebody dying.
but
you
nothing
said
is
you had a
off
joke about
limits.
Whitney Houston before the body was out the
Yeah,
tub.
but he
I
doesn't
mean, so it's
roll
like,
with
Christ.
it. If I was to get caught cheating on Carly, I mean, that wouldn't happen. But if I was, and y'all made a joke about that, I would be kind of salty if I got busted and y'all was making jokes.
And plus, you got to think
You
about
would be or you wouldn't be?
I would be. I mean, I wouldn't cheat, but if I got caught and y'all was making jokes,
But
I'd be a
why
little
would you?
salty.
But why would you be salty?
Right.
because you're a
Because
comedian.
I know if I'm coming home to this woman and I know what I'm going with, and y'all adding on to it by
Right.
adding those jokes.
But you did it to yourself, so take it.
Ooh,
you
take it.
You take it.
Take that,
and
take
then
that.
you take the joke with them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that. Y'all are comedians.
Yeah.
You gotta take the joke. It is. You did it. It wasn't nobody. You brought it out. You put it out there. It's nobody else.
Hey,
put it
nigga,
out
I
there.
didn't do shit. We talking about Kevin.
But I'm just saying, if you did it, you did it. So
Right,
you
no, I
gotta
feel
take
you.
the consequences.
Exactly.
No, I
It's
feel
just like
you.
when somebody go and rob something, they gonna know the consequences. They can go to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you take it with the good or the bad.
That's true.
Well,
And let it ride.
I hope they squash it, man. Two of my favorite
Yeah,
comedians,
man.
man.
Yeah, let's
so,
hope they
I
squash
hope they
it.
squash
You know,
it, man.
like,
Two good people, two funny ass people,
if
man.
a good man is being inappropriate around his children and a comedian
Wait a
comes
minute,
out
what the
and
fuck
says-
is going on?
Here we go.
Pack it up. Time to go. Hey, thank you for watching another Unstable podcast. Please keep tuning
Mona
in.
Scott, Mona
Give it
Scott,
up
get
to
out
the
of me.
very great Gary Payton,
Where
man.
you
Our
on
guest
social
this week,
media?
man.
You on social media? You on social
yes,
media?
Yes, I am.
Which is
I don't. You know what? I'm Gary Payton /20. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't be on that stuff though, man. I'm old school.
Okay.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
got
I
you.
let people do it for me. They'll post something like for my son, post something for somebody. But you know what I mean? I'm not on that.
okay.
We just
So
sit
hoes, you
there,
got to find another way.
Yeah, you gotta find another way. I don't want none of y'all anyway.
Stay off
right.
his
You know what I'm
page. Stay
saying?
off his page, man.
Hey,
That's
yo,
another
for real, hold on
edition.
before we go.
Go
Hey, Mona Scott, get at me. I ain't bullshitting. Holla.
He be the last one to try and fight. This motherfucker ain't gonna fight nobody. I'm Mike Hill, GP. Thanks for coming in, my man.
For sure.
GT, my man. 100 grand. Claudia Jordan, love you. And Steve Wilson, that's another edition of the Unstable Podcast. And Jerron, my man Jerron.
What up? Jerron, all the ladies love you.
Get with her, please.
I'm trying.
We were trying to hook him up with Rebecca. He still hasn't.
My
hooked that
text
up.
game is on.
Seal the deal.
Seal
Put
the
some
deal,
bass in your
man.
voice and go
Make
seal that
happen.
deal.
Hey, what's up,
We'll
bro?
talk to you again next week. I'm about to get another hook. Can I get another hook, G? Thank you, man.